Alright team, hope you're having a great day. So today I'm going to share with you my story and how I went from 5% body fat to now having a sustainable physique that's not only healthy but sustainable in the long term and good looking also, and able to do crazy stuff like the calisthenic you see on my reels. So I'm going to explain my story and how I was able to achieve that. Let's get right into it. You have to know that I did gymnastics pretty much my whole life. So from 9 years old to 21 before I got injured. So I'm going to talk a bit more in details a bit later. But I started gymnastics at 9 years old when my parents bought me a trampoline. So before I broke something or I broke my neck, my parents made the right decision of having a subscription in a gymnastic club near my hometown. So this is how I started, and right after this I was able to progress pretty quickly. I went from provincial competition and to doing national competition. So I progressed fairly quickly. I always look young for my age. On this picture, I think I was like 17 after national competition. So it goes to show that I look very young. When I got 14 years old, I decided to move out of my hometown to train with the best in the country, which was in this case 2 hours from where I lived. So I made this decision very young to go and pursue my dreams, which at the time was the Olympics. So I made the decision. I trained very hard for a few years. So that's where it led me to compete internationally. So I did many competitions. I did Austria, I did US competitions, Brazil, as you can see, the Pan Am Championships in Rio in 2022. In the same year, I also competed at Commonwealth Games. So we did pretty good results in team. So at this competition at Commonwealth Games, we arrived second with my team. And also at Pan Am Championships, we arrived third. Training with stress, managing injuries, and all of that. That was great years. And that was pretty much the summum of my gymnastic career. And I'm very glad I did it, because I learned so much experience. And it came a point where everything changed, right? So I had many injuries back to back to back. So the first one, I was dealing with right knee pain for months, okay? And I had difficulties to do my flips and to do my movements. So a few months later, I discovered that my meniscus was completely torn, which needed surgery. So I went and do that. I did surgery on my right knee. I recovered pretty well from it, and I went back to gymnastics right after this. But this was the first injury I had. Then, because my knee was injured, I was still training at the time. So I was doing pretty much all my trainings on my hands, right? Because when you're injured, you want to compensate and do the things you don't normally do and try to still progress in a way to not lose your skills, and you want to compete and get better. So that led me to fracture both of my wrists. Those were stress fractures. So I had 2 casts for about 2 months, and yeah, this injury was very bad. So to come out of this one, it was way harder, and I felt weak, and I wasn't able to actually like put my hands on the floor. It was hurting so much that it took about 6 months to come back like properly to the skills and the movements I was able to do. Right after this one, I prepared for a competition, which was in Houston. The first day of the competition, I arrived on the last event and injured my back. So I bowed 3 discs in my back, which pretty much ended my career at this point. If you don't know, like bulging discs in your back like takes a long time to recover from it, and sometimes you can deal with this for life. After those 3 injuries in the same year, I decided to retire, and that was pretty hard for me because I went from winning medals to pretty much having no purpose in the same years after all those injuries. So I was very lost. I didn't know what to do, but I still knew that training was always there for me. I couldn't stop training. I couldn't stop moving. If I just sat there on this chair for like the whole day, I knew like I would be depressed or have no purpose. So that wasn't the answer. And also at this time, I also lost my grandfather due to cancer, so that was pretty hard time for me. And as you can see, I buzz cut my hair. So yeah, those were hard times, and this led me to starting over. So after this hard period, I had to restart over. So the way I approached it was that I walked away from gymnastics not because I was giving up, but because I was meant to rebuild something that was greater, that was healthier, and something that could last for the long run, right? So I needed to make a change, and I needed to redefine my why. I decided to make a change to get healthier, to still love what I'm doing, and make it sustainable. So that's how I made the change. So right after this, after I rebuilt my purpose, I restarted training with a passion, and I started to train with a new way. So I started eating way more food, because in gymnastics sometimes you restrict your food, so you lose a lot of weight to get better and to do crazier skills and like feel very light so you can do them without any difficulties. So I started eating way more food, which I gained a lot of weight actually, but it made me healthier. As you probably saw on, I'll show a picture a bit later, but I was very lean, like 5% body fat, which caused me to lower my testosterone and pretty much crash my hormones. So after I started eating more, I started to gain muscle, and that led me to build like 40 pounds of muscle in less than 4 months. So the way I train is that I ran, I lift, and I continue doing the skills that I love to do, as a handstand push-up and the muscle ups and everything. So that's the way I did it. So yeah, as you can see, I went from 5% body fat on this picture, which as you can see is not very healthy, and I went from this physique that is more healthy, that's for sure, and more sustainable in the long term, because that's a mistake I did, is that I thought that being 5% could be sustainable, which in fact wasn't, because it completely lowered my testosterone. So you don't want to deal with this, so take care of your body and make something sustainable. So I did this in about 5 months, 4 or 5 months. At the time, I just felt better. I felt stronger, that's for sure. And I started to grow again, which was crazy to me, knowing that I was 20 years old at this point. So that was crazy. And the only way I was able to do this is because I took action, I had the right system, and I kept being accountable. I kept showing up every day, and I kept being consistent to the action I needed to do. That's when I realized that if I combined all of those things together, it was very powerful. So knowing that it was very powerful, I wanted to help others do the same. Because you can train hard, you can lose weight, you can achieve the goals for X amount of time, but if you're not able to sustain it and you have to sacrifice your health for it at the end of the day, what's the point, right? You want to achieve your dream physique, you want to set some goals to keep it in the long term. What's the point of achieving a certain physique, a look that looks good on paper, but you just make yourself more vulnerable? I just saw how powerful it was. I wanted to help others do the same, because I saw so many people fall into that trap of thinking that if I just lose weight or if I just build muscle, I can be healthier. But that's really not the case. You can go to the gym, but if you don't have the right system or have the good things in place to make it sustainable, that's not gonna happen. So that's how I came up with the Sustainable Mastery Protocol. So depending on your current situation, you can lose 10 to 15 pounds at the beginning to really reveal your normal shape, depending if you're overweight. And that's the first step, right? So you lose 10 to 15 pounds. So after this, we're gonna build your functional strength with some calisthenic exercise and body weight exercises. So it's not just to lift heavy, it's really to make movements that are functional in the day-to-day life. And the third one is to make it sustainable. So you have to look at your habits that are in place, your action that you have to take, and ask yourself, can I do them for life, right? Not for 3 months, not for a year. Can I sustain it for life? And that's when you know that your habits are sustainable and that your physique you're about to achieve, you can attain it and maintain it for life. So with this system, I was able to help many clients. Like Sam was able to lose almost 70 pounds in less than 8 months. With this system, he went from 240 pounds to 160 in less than 8 months. He was able to improve his physique by a lot, as you can see. Also improve his athleticism and move better and feel better in his body. And Phil was able to lose 20 pounds in less than 2 months, and move better and improve his karate, which was his goal at first. Phil was doing karate for the longest time, so he just wanted to get better and surpass new levels in his sport. So this is where I am now. I get to be more healthy. I do crazy skill and prevent injuries. I can build muscle like never before, and I help clients do the same. This is very important for me because I think I could be selfish and like just keep the system for me, but when I knew how it works and I knew how it can help people, I just thought I could help others do the same and let them achieve the same results, right? If you think that this is something that could help you achieve your goals, you can always apply for one-on-one coaching with me, where we can apply the same system I did for myself and my clients and see incredible results in a short period of time, as you can see. And it's not for everyone. As I said, like if your goal is to train like a bodybuilder and just achieve the biggest physique as possible, like don't go for my coaching. I can't help you with that. But if your goal is to maintain a great physique that is healthy, sustainable, and you feel great about yourself, I'm very confident I can help you, and I think it could be the great move. So if you're interested in that, I'll drop the link of my coaching down below. You can always apply for a call with me, and I see if we're a good fit to work together. And that's pretty much it. So on that note, hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.